How did we get to Baker's Dozen Recap 3? Honestly, when I started filming the day-to-day activities of Oliver Bentley's, it was just sort of a lark. Didn't know if I was even going to continue it. I gave myself the first 30 days. I said, for the first 30 days, just do it, see what happens. Somehow, in there somewhere, a new chapter in Oliver Bentley's came about. Go back to recap Baker's Dozen 1. Now you know what was going on. I filmed that sitting here on these stairs, but because we film and it takes time to edit, as you already know, as I'm sitting here, it is March 13th. But the WAGs you're watching actually occurred back in January. That's why it was close crop. It was just me sitting in the middle of the stairs. It's still a little close crop, but I said I was gonna do a recap every 13 episodes because, well, 13 is my lucky number. And I just like the whole Baker's Dozen concept. And I've already lost OB2. Okay, so the purpose of the Baker's Dozen recaps are to give you a little behind the scenes. It also is fun for us to sort of reflect and look back on what we're doing and how we're doing it. We're trying to refine our craft of both filming, editing, telling the story. We can't film everything. I wish I could tell you we had a script and we planned this stuff out, but we don't. You just sort of come in the morning, turn on the camera and see what happens. But in this last Baker's Dozen, I think it's fair to say that a lot of bleep happened. A lot. I still can't believe it. So what was happening during those WAGs? WAG 27 is pivotal because that's the WAG where I sat down, and this was over the course of a few days, crunching numbers, doing the business plan. When it was all finalized, it was time to present the business case and the proposal and some of the terms, negotiated terms that we had to the landlord. Even over and above doing the business plan, at 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, you all got to meet the mayor. Insert Bobo. Bobo is the majestic, gentle giant silver lab. I've never seen a silver lab before. Bobo is literally the mayor. He is just so, how's everyone doing today? What's happening? He is such the mayor. So after getting the business plan done, WAG 28 was basically my meeting with the landlord. This whole YouTube saga could have been just sort of what could have been. I had no idea if this was going to work out. I had a pretty good idea. I felt good about it. But did you feel good about it? But that was a pivotal meeting. That's when, well, we sealed the deal with a handshake. No lease, just a gentleman's agreement, and we are off and running. Just like OB2. It actually happened. That's when I got the keys. And when I got the keys, it coincided with a big delivery coming in from the bakery. So how nuts is it and how gracious is it of the landlord to say, well, you know, we're gonna work it out anyway. You're gonna be the tenant, so just have them drop it off. And then after delivery showed up, how lucky are we that the landlord already had the place to be completely repainted, the barn door to be replaced. That was already scheduled, that was already paid for, and he basically said, what color do you want it to be? So we got to pick the color. There was also a Bobo sighting in WAG 30. So it's always cool when the mayor makes a cameo. In WAG 30, we clipped in something I said in WAG 2, the very second episode. Makes me want to have a store again. All in due time. And here I am in WAG 30, picking out the colors for the walls of the new store. I mean, that's just crazy. And then in WAG 31, that was the last working day in the tiny shop. And I think it's around 2 minutes and 17 seconds in, I do a very nerdy dance. And if you remember the old sitcom, you know what I was doing when I was saying we're moving on up. You're welcome. I have no problem with people laughing at me. You saw in WAG 32, and thank God I didn't film all of my measuring and thinking and strategizing. I mean, because the new store was never on our radar, it's not as if we had a design already done and it was time to implement it. This is basically happening in real time on the fly. Maybe something can go here. What about here? What do we do with this corner? What do we do with that? In WAG 32, it might be 20, 30 seconds, but it was 20, 30 hours. And you'll see as we continue, it's coming together. And then in WAG 34, went to Home Depot and got some numbers for the door, because it turns out this building didn't have any street numbers on it. So we're 409. And guess what 409 adds up to? 13. You can't make this stuff up, man. And there was a Bobo sighting in 34. That was a fun episode. Where you going, bud? Be on the episode for your fans. Say, hey, oh. Okay, don't. I think I may have shamed Abby into coming over. What's up? How was your nap? Is there anything you want to contribute? I went from no dogs being interested to all the dogs being interested. So in WAG 36, we had our first freight pickup. The driver is a new driver, but he was being trained by a senior driver, and the senior driver, Jonathan, is the same guy who used to pick up from us when we were down the street next to Zunzi's pre-COVID. And then 39 was, Abby's kicking him out. And then 39 was two men in a truck bringing all the fixtures from the original store that was next to Zunzi's. You know, it was equally crazy, although we didn't mention it in that WAG, is that the main foreman of the movers, and guess who was the main guy who helped us move all those fixtures into the storage unit to begin with? He was with us in WAG 39. That was cool. So we keep coming full circle with folks. So basically, in summary, these last Baker's Dozen were a tectonic shift, a seminal moment. This is it. What a crazy turn of events. Never really saw it coming. Thought maybe we'd have a store someday, but didn't think it would come so soon, and didn't think it would be this place. The exact same place I looked at 6 years ago. It's time to build it out, fill it up, have our soft opening, and then have our grand opening. The grand opening won't occur until the awning gets changed. You may have noticed, if you're looking closely, the awning still says we're a furniture store, which is the previous tenant. You're also gonna see in the next Baker's Dozen, we've decided to add some things to what we're gonna be offering here. Some things that I didn't think that we necessarily would, but it turns out somebody just walked in the door one day and said, hey, could you use? I'll let you watch how all that transpired. The next Baker's Dozen, it just keeps getting better. The barn door open, meeting and greeting locals, people coming by saying, what's happening? So the next 13 episodes are kind of fun in the progress that we made. What we're doing with this store is gonna be a little unique, a little different, and not your typical plain vanilla dog boutique. We're gonna do some things in here and offer both services and experiences that, well, we'll see. But for now, thank you for being along for the journey. If you're not already a subscriber, would you press your paw and subscribe and tap that like button like you're begging for an Ally B biscuit or an Ally B bite? And thanks for coming along for the ride. Be well, be safe, live like somebody left the gate open. Be kind to one another and give your pack a hug from us. And remember, no matter who we are or where we are, as pet parents and dog lovers, we're all united through dogs. And we will bark back to you next time. Woof. We got work to do. Yep, ready, break. Oh, again. I'll let your agent know you've been renewed for another 13 episodes.